Okay, this is just a little introduction to Doceri. So you open up Doceri, it's free, downloadable to an iPad. I think there is a version that will work on an Android. You open it up, start a new file by tapping on that plus symbol in the lower left corner. And then I always select the default when I'm starting a new document. I don't actually like the border on the default, so I always change it. So you go up and select the icon that's for background. It's that layered icon there. And you can change the colors, you can make custom backgrounds, you can change the pattern. So I'm going to select the color panel and select white. I could have selected red, purple, deep purple, anything you want. All right, so the panels in Doceri are the tools. There are 6 different selections that you can make. You can make them all the same kind of selection, all the same markers, just different point sizes, or you can select different things. So there's a spray can, there's a beveled marker, there's squares, there's circles, arrows, lines, all kinds of stuff. So I selected 2 markers, different point sizes, a circle, square, and a couple of lines. So select the square, or select the circle. You can change the point size, change the color. This is the square. And the only thing that you can't change is the eraser. The only choices you have for the eraser is just how large of an eraser you want. What's the point size of the eraser? You're drawing lines. So you just select the line tool and you drag it across the screen. But the nice thing about lines is they will snap. So it's a little sticky. Once it gets close to that point, it snaps to that point there. Hopefully you can see that. That's very useful in making these diagrams. Now if you touch your finger, a second finger to the screen, now it will snap as you go around the center point for 45-degree angles. Each snap is another 45-degree angle. So if I draw another line to that point and I touch the screen with the second finger and I just drag up a little bit, it snaps to 45 degrees. I can place a point there if I want. Draw another line segment. Touch my finger to the second finger to the screen, drag it around, it forms a 90-degree angle. So just an easy way to draw 45-degree angles, 90-degree angles, 180, 270, whatever you might need. Now to get rid of things I don't want, I always lasso them and then cut them out. I never use the eraser. All right, this is just a screencast of the exact same thing I just showed you. What I'm doing is stepping forward by tapping that arrow. I pulled down that shade from the top. I'm going to show you that in a little bit more detail. All right, rectangle. Change it to a square by tapping the screen. The second finger, now it snaps to a square. Draw a lasso around it. Drag it around. I can change the size by pinching in or pinching out. Tap done. Right now a line segment will snap to the center of the side, the midpoint of the side. And so that's the midpoint, and if I go straight across, that's the other midpoint. And so now if I snap to the midpoint of that line, that's the center of the square. Now it's true, I could have just drawn 2 diagonals. The lines will snap to the corners of where the diagonals are as well. And it's just a different way of doing it. Lasso them, cut them out, get rid of them. And now I have the center of the square as just a single point. And so different line segments will snap to the point, snap to where I'm drawing it to on the square, corners, midpoints. So you get a nice design. You can use this as you go forward. Pinch in. All right, this is just a screencast once again of the same thing. It's the exact same video that I just showed you, just a screencast of that video. So again, I pulled down that shade in the middle and reveals the scroll bar, and I'm just tapping that arrow in the center. I don't know if you can see that right now. I'm going to show you a little bit more detail, and I'm recording that as I do that. All right, circles. Tap a second finger to the screen. It's now going to snap to a circle. And line segments will snap to the center of the circle. So I draw a line segment, get close to the center, and it sticks to it. It snaps to it. So I can put a point there. That is the center of the circle. Draw a lasso around it. Cut it out to get rid of it. All right, so now I can snap, and it snaps 11.5 degrees. So you have to touch your finger to the screen, and now it snaps up 11.25 degrees. So 11 1/4 degrees. It takes 90 degrees divided by 8. That's equal to 11.25. So you get 8 different parts, or 8 different segments. And 4/8 is going to be 45 degrees. All right, this is the same thing. I'm just drawing line segments around, and I'm just showing you that if you pull the shade down, so first of all, if you go forward a page or backwards a page, if I pull that shade down right there, it reveals a scroll bar, and there's all these stops, which I have put in there. And as you record, you can move forward to each stop by pressing that arrow right there to go move forward. So I'm just pressing that arrow. It's going forward to each stop. Maybe you can see the scroll bar on the left, right there. Moving forward, or that scroll bar moving backwards, taking that away. Nice way to record things that you're doing in Doceri. All right, so I snapped a line segment to the center of the circle. So now I'm going to drag a line segment across. You don't have to touch the screen with the second finger. You just drag it around, and it will snap to 11.25 degrees, 22.5 degrees. 4/8 is 45 degrees. 8/8, of course, in this case, is 90 degrees. And you can just keep going around, whatever you want to do. So it makes a nice way to make very nice dots, decorations as you do these drawings. And I made a couple of fancy dots by drawing some circles and using a variety of tools to color them in. I got 2 nice looking dots. And so I used the frame to draw 3 equal parts. I'll show you how to do that in a little while. So 3 groups of 2 is equal to 6, or I can rearrange them to 2 groups of 3. That also equals 6. So using the commutative property. Change the background. This is a white background. Change it to a black background. This is all in Doceri. Change it to a kind of a purple textured background. Variety of things that you can do. Now I threw it into Keynote to animate it. So put in a Keynote, and I animated the dots. Now imagine a 3rd grader, 4th grader, 5th grader creating these animations. Finally, what I want to do is put them into a multiplication table. This is just the beginning. I'll continue to work on this, but these are the 2 drawings I just did. 3 times 2 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6. So 2 groups of 3 or 3 groups of 2. I'm going to zoom out and show you the rest of the table, what this looks like. And I will continue to add drawings to this as I go through student work that I have.